What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the FansToys Magnum, their version of G1 Wildrider. And as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. We got that nice artwork by INSV. I linked his description below for his deviant art. Here's the back of the box with some product images. You got him with his other crew for the Stunticons that we have. We'll actually take a look at some of these during the review today. You also get a instruction manual here. There is actually errors in this instruction manual, so I will point that out when we do the transformation. But in general, nicely done, very clear pictures and color and arrows, but still some issues there. And then we've got the collector's card. Again, very nice collector's card, nice solid credit card style. So that's really it for the packaging. We're going to get this guy open and take a look at how good he really is. And here we have Magnum out of his packaging. And he looks good. Let's get the G1 image over there so you can take a look, and we'll do a quick 360. You can see they've had some details here on the front where they got some translucent plastic with some detail behind it. Kind of see, put some stuff in there, and then even these. And you do have the offset, non-symmetric pieces there, which is cartoon accurate. You do have the metallic red arms and the stripe on the bottom here. Very nice to the cartoon. You do have this extra detail here on the back, which I really like. Always like when they go the extra mile. There's a little bit of a backpack, not too bad. I kind of don't mind it at all. It's just, doesn't stick out too far, but it also is not too obtrusive, and it looks, normal with this size robot. All in all, pretty nice sculpt all around. Really nice face sculpt. I do have the alternate face sculpt on there. He does come with this as the alternate, and you get this actually on the figure originally out of the box. And it's pretty easy to install. So go ahead and you can pull forward. There's a little spot to pull forward there. You can pull this off, and then you can take this face off and then put the other one on. And here's his standard face. And that one looks good as well. Overall, very nice face sculpts on these guys. He also gets one other accessory, so you get the gun, and it's got the handle. It flips out for the vehicle mode. But this fits in just like any other FansToys weapon, so we'll get that into his hand. He's with his gun, and it's a good looking gun. It's painted all the way around. Nice metallic paint, same as his body here. They generally do a good job with the sculpt and the paint on their weapons. So all in all, very nicely done in the robot mode. I really like the look of it. Let's take a look at the articulation. So the head is on a rotating swivel. You get up to there, down to there, not too far. It is a little bit hindered by the squarish bottom of his head there, but that's the character design here. You do get a rotation at the shoulder all the way around. You get a shoulder movement up to there. You get a rotation at the bicep, a double jointed elbow, but you really have to kind of push on this inner one first, and then you get the second one. So double jointed elbow, you get all the way up to there. Rotation at the wrist. The typical FansToys hands with 2 pins for each finger, one at the base knuckle and one in the middle, and then a ball jointed thumb, which is my preference for hands. I like these hands. You do get a rotation at the waist. Unfortunately, no ab crunch on this guy. The breakdown, they figured out a way to get it in, but not on this Wildrider. You do get on a ratchet movement up to there, pretty far. Then back to here, and then out to the side on a friction joint, nice and tight. All the joints are nice and tight, by the way. Rotation at the thigh. You get a double jointed knee, and so you can do kind of cool poses where he's got it all the way up, which is kind of neat. You do get ankle tilt all the way out to there. You can go a little bit the other direction, and then you can go up and down this way, or you can go up that way. So plenty of articulation on those ankles. So overall, nicely articulated. I like his ability to move, and he's fun to mess with. So here's a size comparison with the FansToys Road King, their version of Motomaster, and the Takara Tomy Blue Streak. Obviously scales well with the Road King, but much bigger than the Blue Streak. And there's been question about, you know, are these guys too big? I think that they're pretty good size. Let me grab the G1 Sunbow chart with this guy in it, and you'll see they are actually supposed to be taller in robot mode than the Autobot cars. So to me, it kind of fits. But again, this isn't the eye of the beholder. It's obviously your subjective opinion and what you prefer. For me personally, I don't mind the size of these guys. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his vehicle mode. It is a very fun and intuitive transformation, which is refreshing for FansToys. We had that with Goose. We had a pretty nice, easy transformation. And I feel the same way here. This is probably one of the best that they've had. I mean, not just recently, but ever. Kind of, you know, almost back to like FansToys Dinobots, you know, that level. It feels good. It's kind of fun. So let's get going on it. We're going to start with the arms. So go ahead and rotate the arms upwards here. Flip open these panels right here. And that's going to allow you to rotate this arm and then rotate this piece down. You need to rotate the arm because there's a little notch that allows you to rotate this. So otherwise you'll have trouble rotating that. And then close this back up and then rotate the arm back around. Unfortunately, that's how you have to do it. You have to rotate it and rotate it back. And then collapse the arm down. And that's basically one arm done. So go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. All right, next we're going to work on the legs. So the legs are also kind of fun. So you go ahead and come to the bottom here. Fold in this flap. Then fold in this flap. Pull the foot upwards like this. And then you want to open this canopy. It is pegged in there, so make sure you get this cleared. Open that up, and then you're going to fold the foot inwards. And it goes under that glass. I really like the way that transforms. Make sure it's flat and in all the way, so it sits nice and flush. And then this should come back down, and just make sure that tab goes around. It's pretty robust, but I just don't want to put any extra stress on it that I don't have to. All right, on the inside of the leg, go ahead and open up this panel here, and set that down inside. Flip it around to the front. Go ahead and open up this panel. You're going to collapse this here. You see it's on a slider right there. So go ahead and collapse this down. And there's a lot of lube in there, so you're probably going to get lube on your hands, unfortunately. That's just the way this figure is. And then fold that down and fold it out, and you can kind of leave it like that for now. Okay, so go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, next we're going to work on the back here, and we can basically get this untabbed. You can see there's two little tabs that hold it in to the back, and that's going to give you some space to work back here. Go ahead and flip these out. You're going to want to get a fingernail under here. Actually, you can push this out first, and that'll give you a little more room to access these, and those are flipping up on these hinges there. So again, flip that forward and flip this up, and that gets that out of the way. Now we can get the head in here, and the head is on this tab here. That tabs right into the front. Go ahead and rotate that entire tab around, and then rotate the head back the other way. And that head is going to sit in this cavity just like that. So it should sit nice and flush and flat if you've got it all correct. Leave those out front for now. Then we're going to take these panels, rotate them out, and then rotate them 180 degrees. So turn them around. So you end up with this angled piece here. Same on this side, rotate this out. And then rotate that 180 degrees. It tends to help if you have this roof piece kind of flat, because it gives you a little more room to work in there. But you can do it however you can get to it. Okay, so now we have those two pieces, and those are going to stay there in that position. All right, now that we got these rotated around, we're going to get to take care of the chest. So come to the front. You're going to need a fingernail or a spudger, but you got to get this piece up. Flip that all the way up, and that's going to allow you to collapse the chest, so the arms are going to go inwards into the chest, just like that. You can see they went in pretty nice and smooth. So make sure you have that piece upwards if you haven't, and it should all push together like that. Okay, once you get that, now you can take care of this piece here. So go ahead and get this pushed downwards. and it should fit on top of these. If you don't have it exactly right, it won't go, but there you go. So that fits on top. Open up this panel here. Now we'll take care of these in the front. So these are just little filler pieces, I guess. So go ahead and fold that around. Same on this side. Fold this piece around. And then these are just going to sit flat in front of the car. So it just looks like that. Pretty simple. And then you're going to bring this piece down on top of it and over it. So you can see it should fit over it, and it presses down and compresses. And then you take this panel, and there's two pegs that's going to fit into the bottom and secure the whole thing. Really quite ingenious how they did all that. All right, now I'm going to work on the leg, the final piece here. This is probably the more challenged piece of the entire transformation. Go ahead and stick a finger and pop that panel up. And that's going to allow you to bend this leg downwards. Make sure you have this panel out, because that's going to be dealt with a little bit later. So you should be able to get this all the way down, and don't close it all the way, just get it close. So same on this side, pop the panel and get this rotated. You really want to make sure this light is ending up in the back. Again, make sure you have this outwards. Okay. And once you have both kind of sticking back on this angle, go ahead and push it together. So you press it together like that. Make sure you have these out of the way. You're going to take care of this in a little bit. And here's where you just kind of going to do a little bit of finagling. You're going to push this down onto the body, but make sure you just watch out for those two tabs. You don't want to knock those two tabs off by pushing this down. So make sure it all clears. If you don't have these feet pushed in all the way, make sure you do. You might want to open these back up. So go ahead and push this downwards, and that's going to meet with the rest of the car. Yeah, and make sure you clear those. So you saw that I was kind of pulling out a little bit this way to make sure I clear those two red tabs. So you don't want to break those. And then push it together, and that will seal that top roof part there. Now you can take care of the back here. So go ahead and fold this in, and that's going to tab into the back there. Pretty simple. Same back here. Push those in. We'll get it all cleaned up, and then we'll take a look. And here we have the vehicle mode for Magnum, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I have a hard time not gushing over this thing. I love this vehicle, this Ferrari. If you don't know why it's called Magnum, it's from the show Magnum P.I., which is a show from the 80s. Magnum P.I. drove a Ferrari like this. I just found out from a comment that I saw that this isn't the GT 598, GTO 598. It's actually a custom version of this Ferrari, GTB. I'm sorry. And so there's like a variant that's like a souped up version, and so it looks a little bit different in the front here. And I was kind of like, well, this doesn't look like the real car. Well, that's because it's a variant of that car, and so I think this is accurate to that one variant. I'm not sure why FansToys chose to go with the variant instead of the normal GTB, but whatever, it's still absolutely gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Take a quick 360. You got that nice shiny rims. We'll put the G1 cartoon on here for you to take a look. You got headlights up here. You've got the translucent fog lights down there. You got the shiny rims. You got a little detail here. I mean, that's a Ferrari thing. You know, got the little cooling slats there on the back. You got the painted taillights and the painted turn signals. I like how these exhausts stick out, and it's all nice and flush and clean. It does roll beautifully. It's a solid chunk of metal. I mean, it just feels like a solid. You could hurt somebody with this. Really, really beautiful. I love the windshield. It is clear, but the parts inside fill the entire space, so there's nothing really to see. It's very well executed. You do have windshield wipers here. They never got in the way. They just stay on this windshield here. You can take the weapon. If you fold in the handle, you end up with this, and that pegs into the back of the vehicle mode there. It's a little tricky to get in there. You have to kind of press it in, and there you go. There's the vehicle all armed up. Looks beautiful. Love the way that works. If you didn't notice, the back window here is actually painted. It's not a translucent plastic. I guess they couldn't get the translucent plastic in there. I don't mind it. It doesn't bother me at all. I'd rather have that than have a integrity issue in the back here. Maybe that's why they didn't do it, because the window was so small. So there you go. There's the vehicle mode. Let's do a couple comparisons. So there is Magnum with his teammate spoiler and the Takara Tomy version of Smokescreen, the plus version. And to me, this looks really good. I love the look of this. I know the Lambo is much wider. Again, the scale is in the eye of the beholder, but if you take a look at the length, it's just about the same length as, oops, sorry, an Autobot car. It's just about the same height, maybe a little bit shorter than this car, which makes sense to me. And it's wider, and these Ferraris should be wider. They're sports cars. Same for the Lamborghini. Lamborghini is even more wide in real life. So perfect look in the vehicle mode. I love how it scales with the rest of the vehicles in my collection. So final thoughts on this guy. They absolutely nailed it. I mean, what an incredible figure. The transformation is fun and, you know, not frustrating like some of the FansToys we've had in the past. The look of the robot mode and vehicle mode, very impressive. The vehicle mode itself, it almost feels like a model car. It's so good, it's so good looking that you wouldn't even know that it transforms. It's such a solid chunk. Just looks great. And the robot mode is very well toleranced and got plenty of articulation. You can really get into some nice poses. I'm not great at posing like T-Man, but you know, good enough for my purposes. If you're not in on the FT set, or whether you're in or not, I highly recommend this guy. Whether you're just getting him as a version of Wildrider or you're getting the entire set, great figure. It's the problem is now you've got to start pre-ordering these things because they're very hard to get. Once they're sold out, they start becoming expensive. This one is already increased in price. It just got released. I literally just got this today, actually, and it's already gone up in price because the secondary market, you know, people have bought them out. So if you want this set, you really got to pre-order these guys ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to be paying a premium. At least at the price that I bought them for, I think it was $125. Definitely worth the money. Really well done. You know, feels like you're getting your money's worth. That's really it for today. I will be doing a comparison with the X-Transbots version of Wildrider, and I didn't show that off because I didn't want to reveal anything about that, but that's going to come later this week, so you can check out that comparison with the X-Transbots, and you can decide for yourself which set you want to go with. But that's really it for today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.